Good morning, everyone. Hello, my Philippine literature class. I would like to move to the third week of our lecture. This is intended for the third week lecture, but because of the typhoon, I wasn't able to upload immediately. But I've already sent the PowerPoint to our GC. So basically, it is all about imaging gender. And again, I would like to present to you the objective of this lecture is to again analyze the Filipino values we have in Philippine literary texts, and then we don't stop determining the heroism, which were discussed already in the past literary pieces that we had. And then we also have the interpret the aesthetics values of this literary text or literary pieces, and to know the values of Filipinos experiences in their literary pieces, and to identify also the dynamism of Filipino wedding tradition, which will be presented in the next week's lesson. So the topic of outline that I have with you today is first the Dead Stars by Paz Marquez Benitez, and then we have the conversions by Jane Neal T. Garcia, and then we have the Virgin by Karima Poloton Tavera, and then the fourth one is the uh, literary piece by Ronald Gaitan entitled He Who Sleeps in My Love. And then we have the last one is Geography by Paulo Manalo. So let's have a recap. We are done with our literature in the past, like our pre-colonial literary stories and plots and creations and adventures of our Filipino heroes. And we already have learned about the concept of heroism. And then we also have our old-time favorites, the crocodile, the mermaid stories, and the monkey stories, and all of these things. Because why old-time favorites? Because they have the insights and the values, the core values of the Filipino people. And in our world today, it has been a dilemma. Too some or maybe too many, the gender issues. So we have the homosexuality, lesbianism, virginity and masculinity, issues on patriarchal and matriarchal stuff and the like. Given our stories to discuss, we will encounter different emotions, thoughts, and feelings expressed in a variety persona in this imaging gender topic. So basically, when we say imaging gender, it is the representation of or reproduction of an object's form. In the next slides are summaries of our literary pieces mentioned. So basically, these are just summary or overviews of the source which we have just presented. But basically, I want you to watch all of this or to read all of these literary pieces in the internet because it will give you a comprehensive view about the story, a comprehensive story. Okay, so the first one is The Dead Stars by Paz Marquez Benitez. The short story revolves around a man named Alfredo and his love affairs. And Alfredo is a man who believes in true love and hopes to find bliss in its wake. The first woman he falls in love with is Esperanza. Their families are acquainted with each other, so they began their love story when they were still young. In the story, he struggles about his fate and circumstances of life and love facing him, and he needs to face problems in choosing between difficult choices in life. So the theme of the story is the by Paz Marquez is conveyed in the forbidden love of Alfredo to Esperanza and to Julia. So I wanted to read more on that on in the internet and find the questions that I'll be posting in our GC later on. But as I have told you, I wanted to focus first on the summary and the insights of these stories mentioned in this lecture. So the next one is we have Conversions by Jane Neal C. Garcia. So this sad story speaks of the details of the killing of a little girl, which is very symbolic in the story, by a group of men who commit the deed in the name of love for the boy. And the little boy who tried to protect her but was lost. This story is all about the struggle of a man who suffered because of his hidden gender. He found a way to protect himself by marrying a woman. Yet still, he feels the nostalgic feeling of a boy wanting to become a girl in the past. This story of Jane Neal T. Garcia is an open-ended piece, so the audience will have to decide for this part. Nothing was mentioned much on the last part except for the fact that the married man and the little girl was within, who is within that big man has to die in him. So it is a struggle of a homosexual persona, and I wanted to go on the details of the story because it's more exciting and it's more like it's giving you some surprises that you will encounter in your life. That you have encountered and you will encounter in your life. So the next one is The Virgin by Karina Palaban Tavera. So this Virgin, this story is all about the Miss Mijares, a beautiful daughter sacrificing herself in this case for a sick mother and becoming a spinster, a pathetic figure, and her sternness manner and abruptness of speech disguise for an aching loneliness. So that means he she tried to get away from men, but deep inside her he longed for a man for herself. So Miss Mijares underlines her um, primness and well as her distance from the carpenter, which she falls in love in the story. She's lean and frail looking, which contrasts with the carpenter's physical strength and disguise. So basically, she admires the carpenter in the story, but then she tried to get away from him. Why? Because she took care. She takes good care of his sick mother. The carpenter has a certain space, a grace, voice, and confidence, making her fall in love with him. But in the end, it was also an open-ended story, so it's up for the audience. The It's up for the audience to come up with the decision of Miss Mijares. So it's also a nice story. So I wanted to read this one more on the in the internet, and we will try to discuss more in the class later on after the reading. And then the last one, not the last one, but we also have the last literary piece is the one He Who Sleeps on My Lap by Ronald Baitan. So basically, this story is all about, again, the story of also a homosexual. He was in love with his gay friend, and the subject in this poem is the perplexity of the homosexual guy's emotion to his male friend. This is about a homosexual guy who desires for his male friend but is unwilling to reveal his emotions for fear of condemnation and mockery from his friends, family, and community. So the conflict there was my friend, the writer says, my friend who sleeps on my lap loves someone else. He says he's a man and a man needs a woman. And I disagree with our, when they argued, they disagreed with each other. Because the man who falls in love with his male friend says that a man falls in love with a man, but his male friends disagreed with his thoughts because this man believes that a man should fall in love with a woman. So by Dan Lush lyrics, both in Luxuriant and Lustful Sense, plot the emotional arc of the Chinese Filipino's homosexual heart as it rings like a pendulum between desire and despair, love and longing, sex and solitude. So I want you also to go and see the story or read the story by yourself to go on the details of the story and make life out of the story. So basically, mabuhay tayong lahat. I hope that these themes found in each gender story are clear to all. We all know that this gender issue is no longer a taboo in today's world. People talk much about it, and we need to attend to the cries and voices of this marginalized group in the past. Let us help protect their rights as human and as children of God. So, class, we will go back to a little bit longer lecture after you read all of these literary pieces which we have during this time in today's world. So I hope you have focused on your quizzes. I will not be giving you an activity regarding this imaging gender issue, but because I wanted to focus on your quizzes, which I have just given last week, quizzes 1 to 3. So I hope everything is already submitted. And again, God bless you all. Have a nice day. I love you all.